Yes, now we're going over to Tamale. Tamale is in the northern parts of Ghana. It's the capital city of the northern region. Now, there's a challenge there, of course, among other challenges, but we're looking at the issue of water shortage, okay? And the water shortage impact is very serious because we're looking at, facilities like hospitals, and how do hospitals deal with something like water shortage? It's a very, very serious thing. Can you imagine water shortage
in a hospital?
In a hospital,
a teaching hospital for that matter.
How does the hospital function? Now water shortage doesn't only mean the water that's running through the taps is not coming, but even to water trucks.
Yeah.
Where would they also get water from? Do you see the thing? All of those conversations are something that we need to take a look at and figure it out, because there's no reason for water shortage to be a problem that we are dealing with. Well, we do have a report for you. Let's take a look at this report, and we'll come back and have some conversations afterwards.
Relatives of patients at the Tamale Teaching Hospital, the primary referral hospital serving the Northern, Savannah, Upper East and Upper West regions, as well as neighboring countries, are currently battling a water shortage due to the facility's inadequate storage capacity. The situation is so severe that patients' relatives have to buy buckets of water for their daily needs, and doctors and nurses struggle with a limited supply, hindering service delivery and the country's quest to achieve the SDGs on health, water, and sanitation. The Chief Executive Officer of the Tamale Teaching Hospital, Dr. Atiku Adam, speaking at the Tamale Metropolitan Assembly, outlines the impact of the water shortage on healthcare delivery.
Water, imagine running a hospital without water. You come to the hospital in the morning, nurses want to wash their hands after passing a line or doing a procedure. There is no water for them to wash their hands. You want to go to theater, you want to sterilize your equipment, there is no water. You go to Dalong, sometimes even the main pumping station is locked. So daily, our water tanker goes to the main treatment plants to fetch water. Can you imagine a big facility like this? Every day you have to go up and down like that, trying to fetch water for the whole facility. So water is number one problem for the hospital. We have three main problems. Water is one. If we are able to solve the water problem of the hospital, we will solve a lot of problems of the hospital.
The hospital's underground water system has been non-operational for over 4 years due to a lack of funding for renovation. According to Kutuba Tudo, Deputy Director of General Services at the Tamale Teaching Hospital, the 419,000 cedis rehabilitation of the storage facility, partly funded by the Finance Minister, is progressing steadily with 60% of the work completed. He explained the project dynamics to ChannelOne TV in an interview.
Management did was that the first 200,000 that the Finance Minister gave was released to Ghana Water Company. The assessment, the last update was done about a year ago, and the total cost came to about 419,000. But management have also added 100,000. So far we paid not less than 300,000 to the Ghana Water Company Limited. And the remaining, we are expecting that by the time that the works are completed, the Finance Minister would have given us maybe the next tranche, or management and the board would have mobilized additional funds to be able to pay. Additional assessment on the project also amounted to about 50,000, and then management is looking at how they're going to get the funding to complete. This additional works will cover additional inspection chambers to ensure easy access to the tanks, and also to provide new ladders to replace the old ones. At the time we were doing the assessment 4 years back, they were still in good shape, but for now they are rusted, and then we have to take them out and replace them, so that as and when we have to do cleaning in the tank, we can have access. The ladders will be attached. and then other civil works that were also considered.
So that pushes the entire cost to
about 450,000.
Mr. Tido revealed that a total of 300,000 cedis has been paid for the contract to commence, with management contributing 100,000 cedis in addition to the 200,000 cedis donated by Finance Minister Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam for the water storage project. He is meanwhile hopeful that the remaining funds needed to complete the project would be secured soon, with an appeal to the Finance Minister to help with the remaining 200,000 cedis of the total 400,000 cedis promised to restore the hospital's abandoned underground water storage.
Currently, what management is doing about the water situation is to look at storage. We don't get flow all the time. We normally get flow for 3 days in a week. But we realize that our storage tank that we are having currently is just 500 cubic meter, which can just meet our demand for 2 days or 2.5 days. So what management decided to revive the old tanks that used to be used by the hospital before the current tank was constructed as part of the expansion and rehabilitation of the hospital phase 1. The old tanks are still there, but the lines were decommissioned at the time of the project. So what management is doing is that we engage Ghana Water Company to, they are experts in when it comes to water. And so we engage them to revive the
40
tanks.
minutes.
Now what they are expected to do is to connect water into the tanks, feed the tanks, and also ensure that the water can be distributed. We have 3 storage tanks. One is 320 cubic meter. The second one is 75 cubic meter, and the third tank is 108 cubic meter.
Percentage-wise, how far have the work gone, and when are they estimated to finish?
Percentage-wise, they have done over 60%. They are expected to complete their works by the close of this month.
All right, so that's a report for you, and I think it's very important for us to really delve to the bottom of this matter, you know. And our correspondent who brought us the report, Shawana Yusuf, is joining us on the line. Hello, Shawana.
Hi, good morning, David.
Yes, good morning. Welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Thank you.
All right, so give us a sense of how widespread this problem is in terms of outside of the hospital. How widespread is the water shortage, and how long has this been going on for?
Okay, so the issue of lack of water, especially in the Tamale metropolis, is something the Ghana Water Company has been battling with for some time now. They tell us that demand has far outweighed supply, like 50%. So they are able to only produce 50% of what the whole of the metropolis needs. So what it means is that there is a shortage of another 50% of production that they need to be able to supply to the people of Tamale and its environment. So there has been a huge gap, not only within the Tamale Teaching Hospital, but the hospital and its environment have been experiencing some water challenges for some time now. Very critical was the period of the dry season, somewhere October, November, December, coming to June. It was very serious. Now that the rains have set in, at least it helps with the water that the water company would need to treat for onward supply to the people. So for water issues, it's been a major challenge in the Tamale metropolis, and it was really biting hard at the Tamale Teaching Hospital, where water is essential so far as the issue of healthcare delivery is concerned.
All right, do you have any idea if there are discussions about tapping into underground water sources, so like drilling boreholes specifically for the hospital?
That I haven't heard management talk about.
Okay.
But the director of the water company, Dr. Clifford Raymer, on one of his visits to northern Ghana to look at the water situation, suggested that they intend to actually adapt to the use of underground water to supplement what they produce for the people of the larger Tamale area. Because what they can see is that sun winning, they complain, is a major issue that is polluting the water they treat at the Dollar treatment plant. Hence, if they are able to treat the water, because of the pollution level, a lot of it has to go waste because they have to use that to treat the water. So, for instance, if they need to use just 5% to treat the water, because of the pollution rate, they end up using about 30 to 40% to treat the water, which is costing them a lot and not making them to get the exact quantity of water they should have to supply to indigents of the region. So they are considering using underground, that's borehole, to supplement what they treat at the water company treatment plant at Dollar. But for the teaching hospital, I am not able to tell if management have any plans to actually get borehole to supplement what they already have.
All right. Shawana, so I was wondering, the project that is 60% complete and has had support from the finance minister, is there a situation where maybe the management of the hospital have reached out to maybe non-governmental organizations to help complete the project, or any other individuals who are willing to help?
So until the finance minister even came, the hospital tells us they've been trying to raise the 420,000 that they needed to refurbish this underground tank. And just on one of the visits of the finance minister to the facility, they told him about the water issues, coupled with some of the reports in the media about how patients and patients' relatives are suffering on the lack of water situation. So the finance minister just decided to donate, I think he donated 10 pieces of the Rambo 1,000 size polytons to the hospital. And then he added a cash donation of about 100,000 Ghana cedis, saying he was going to pay the 400 plus cedis in badges to help with the management refurbishment of the water facility. But as to whether PTH on its own has been doing something with private organizations to raise funds on this, they've not mentioned to me as a media person who's been following this issue for some time now. Hence, I am not able to tell if they are even trying to get NGOs or people interested in water to come to their aid so far as this issue. But we hear the CEO speak at events and mention that they are calling for support, That's how far that is going, the NGO in the region and even beyond, I can't best tell.
All right. Well, Shawana, thank you very much for bringing us this report. It's important for us to tell the stories of challenges that people are going through and experiencing in various communities. We appreciate this very much. So that was Shawana Yusuf. She's our Northern Regional correspondent, bringing us up to speed with the water challenges that are going on there. And we, call on the duty bearers, those who are in charge of these spaces, so the Regional Coordinating Council, the Ghana Water Company, the hospital authorities. I mean, we need to figure out a solution as far as this situation is concerned, so that Tamale Teaching Hospital maintains its place, as a quality teaching hospital within the Ghana medical practice and experience that we have. Where we have some messages that have been coming through as we've been having various conversations here. I have one or two here. Let me read. Do you have some as well?
Sure, I do.
Okay, you go ahead first.
All right, Kweku, this one says, hello, Jifa and David. This is really sad to watch. The quality of food for these children is nothing to write home about. Our leaders should do better. And this coming from Mustafa from the Northeast region. Another one also says, which minister will give the ward 120 pesos for feeding in this country today? The last payment to caterers was at a rate of 120 pesos per child per day. This was contrary to a payment of 150 pesos the caterers were told by both the former minister for gender and children and gender and social protection and the current national coordinator of the program. Please stop blaming the poor caterers. All right, quick.
All right, yeah. I have a couple more. This one here says, wow, this is very sad. I can't imagine getting water outside the hospital. Something has to be done to curb the situation. What happens when water runs out during a surgery? This is Emily from Medina. Well, hopefully water doesn't run out during a surgery. As you heard, the hospital rep was saying that they have to go to the source of the water treatment. They send their tanker to the source of the water treatment, but it's not a sustainable way of doing things, you know. So the hospital is a huge facility now. Even back in 2009, when I lived in Tamale, the hospital was a huge facility then. Now it's expanded. They were expanding then, and it's a bigger facility now, and so the demand for water is very high. And you know, in the hospital situation, we all know this. Yeah. You need running water.
Yes,
you know, when, during COVID, we learned a lot of these things. You know, wash your hands under running water. So soap. If the water is not running through the taps, how are you going to wash your hands? You know, and then there's a limit to what you can do and how safe you can be. You know, when water shortage is part of your existence. So really, we need to do better, you know, than we have been doing.
We hope the duty bearers have heard, and then other organizational bodies who would want to help us hear that. So that, we kept the situation because this is a hospital, for crying out loud. Imagine water not running through your taps at home and how you feel frustrated about it. Talk more of a whole institution as a hospital. So let's do better.
Did you ever use pure water too?
Oh, yes, I have. I even do sometimes. I don't have water running in my house. Yes. Sometimes when I get home, I need to tear sachets of water.
It's a very serious thing.
I don't have water. Even as of now that I am speaking with you, water is not running through my tap. So sometimes I buy sachet and then I tear it. So I can understand because for me who lives in my house just doing domestic chores.
Even that is a challenge.
Yes, the amount of water that I need to wash my clothes, cook, wash my hands and all of that is a challenge. Talking of a hospital serving thousands of people and then medical issues, sterilizing the equipment, caring for bacteria and all of that, cleaning up and whatnot. We need to do better. Kweku, I have another message coming in. Go ahead. Now it says, it's a serious matter. How does water flow 3 days a week in a hospital? Government of Ghana. Sad.
But I personally of the opinion that the hospital needs to get off the grid. You know, get off the grid by, you know, drilling your own boreholes, at least 2 or 3 boreholes on site. Now, of course, if the water table is not high enough, that becomes another challenge, another conversation to be had. So anyway, I mean, I think that it's important for us to highlight these stories and insist on duty bearers doing their part in making sure that things work in Ghana. Ghana must work.